Hello students, this is the private class with the Millennium Teacher. The class that teaches the lessons of life based on truth. The class that inspires, motivates, and transforms you into your best version. You're welcome to class. If you are a newcomer in this class, I encourage you to enroll for the class right now by following us on YouTube at the private class, on TikTok at the private class, and on Instagram at the Millennium Teacher. Join the class and invite others to be a part of us as we learn the lessons of life based on truth. In today's class, we are going to discuss how can we pass our exams without malpractice. In other words, how can we solve our problems, our daily challenges? How can we face them and overcome them without involving in evil means? You know some of the ways that we can pass exams without malpractice. And so I encourage you to put your own views, your own opinions in the comment section and ask questions related to the class so that we'll learn from each other. Based on my estimation, here are 5 ways of how to pass an exam without malpractice. Number 1, be punctual in school. Number 2, pay attention in class. Number 3, copy your notes. Number 4, start studying earlier. Number 5, review past question papers and solve them. Having highlighted these 5 ways of passing an exam without malpractice, we're going to be discussing the last 2 of them, and today we'll focus mainly on the 4th way of passing an exam without malpractice, which is to start studying earlier. Most of us students find it very difficult to start studying earlier. We'll be going to school, copying notes if possible, and we'll be keeping the notes. We will not be bothered to study the notes and be able to cover the syllabus. We'll be keeping them. The only time we'll be bothered to study is when they say exams are around the corner. That is the time most of us will now rush into studies. We want to just chew the book and have it in our head so that we'll go and pass the exam. And at that moment, it will not be easy to do that. And so, because we'll not be able to cover the syllabus as at that time, being that it is short, that is why most of us involve in malpractice. So for this major reason, it is advisable to start studying your notes as early as possible. Just when you start taking notes in class, begin to study them. It will give you an added advantage in the exam. So similarly, in the school of life, if we are to solve our problems without illegal means or evil acts, then we must start studying earlier. It means we must start working hard as early as possible. Most of us waste so much time in life. We go through life enjoying ourselves, not expecting that anything will happen to us or anything will go wrong with the life which we are living currently, because we'll be enjoying it. Just as students, especially those freshers going to school, they just enjoy going to school, especially when a fresher is going to a school which he likes. I can still remember when I entered Christ the King College. I used to love it so much. We get carried away, with the uniforms, everything. We are happy with the lunch that we get to enjoy. So we find it difficult to start studying earlier. So the same happens in life. When we are going through life, especially for those of us who find ourselves under the roof of our parents or our guardians, we have everything will be going on smoothly for us, we have little or nothing to worry about. So we just enjoy life like that. We find it difficult to put ourselves together and start working hard. We just enjoy ourselves, moving from place to place, enjoying life. And so we continue like that, unprepared for the challenges of life until something unexpected happens to us. That will be the time we now start to think what to do to solve that problem, how to take care of ourselves. This should not happen. If you are to make it in life, if you are to succeed, if you are to make it to a higher class in life, legally, without malpractice, without evil means, then you have to start working hard as early as possible. Whatever is it that you need to equip yourself with in order to be able to solve the problems and the challenges of life, you have to start working on it as early as possible. I've told us in this class that the challenges, the difficulties and problems which we go through in life, they are the tests and exams of life. We cannot run away from them. We can't ignore them. Just as students going to school, whether you like it or not, you have to face exams in order to promote to another class. The same thing in life. We have to go through challenges to promote us, to advance us, to keep us going in life. That is why you have to start preparing right now. If you start working hard as early as possible now, you will have an added advantage to the challenges in life, to the problems in life. So I advise you kindly, if you are that person who plans to get married and settle down, start preparing yourself for marriage and settlement as early as possible. Don't live your life carelessly. Start preparing for the marriage which you want to settle down in before it comes. In the same way, if you are planning to have a house of your own, you have to start working on it now. Don't wait until your landlord kick you out of your house first before you start planning how to build your own. Start working on it whilst you are under another person's roof. Start studying earlier. Don't wait until misfortune befalls you before you start looking for ways to equip yourself. Don't wait until you lose your parent or until you lose your source of income before you start taking responsibility for yourself. Start studying now, so that when exams are around the corner, you will not be worried. You know, it is very enjoyable when a student who has prepared himself or herself very well for the exam, well ahead of time, when that student is sitting for that exam, you know, I used to enjoy it. For those cases when I will have managed to prepare ahead for a particular exam. When I'm sitting for that exam, you need to see me. You need to see me when I bow my head. I will not want to raise it until I finish writing. Why? Because the thing is sweet. Even though the exam, as the case may be difficult, especially for other people, but because I may have prepared, or because anybody else may have prepared, it will be easy. You will enjoy writing an exam. You will enjoy doing the calculations if you have prepared for them as early as possible. The same thing happens in life. If you have made adequate preparations, equip yourself before the problems, the challenges of life come knocking at your door, you will enjoy solving most of them. You will solve them without shaking. Whatever preparation you have to make, financially, equip yourself. Spiritually, equip yourself. Domestically, equip yourself. Physically, equip yourself. In every way possible, academically, equip yourself for the challenges of life. Because whether you like it or not, they will come. And they will come unexpectedly. This is the point. It is even better in the academic school. Students are blessed to know when the timetable, when the exams will be coming. But in the school of life, you don't know when the problem will be coming your way, when you are going to face your exam. So that is why it is good to start studying earlier. So that if the exam comes unexpectedly, at least you will have an advantage. You have somewhere to start. Our people do say, and I quote, "Numubi humbwa bekpindiwe," which translated means, if you set out early, you will not be late. Yes, that's exactly what you are talking about. If you set out early on your dreams, you will not be late to achieve them. You will not be late to making it to a higher height in life. If you set out early, if you start studying early right now, start working hard on whatever dream, whatever career you want to pursue, whatever business idea you want to implement, you start putting them into action as early as possible, you will not be late in life. A lot of us are beaten by time. Some of us have not even started yet. We are still enjoying, we are still going to school, just taking the notes, not preparing ourselves. We are just enjoying. Some of us are yet to start. So I encourage us all, especially my fellow millennials, let us start studying now. Now that we are taking the notes, now that your parents are doing it for you, now that things are working well for you, start preparing. Now that you are under another man's roof, start preparing for your own. Now that you are yet to marry, start preparing for your own marriage. Don't wait until it is too late. As the saying goes, the earlier the better. Oh yes, you'll be on the safer side if you start earlier. My fellow millennials, let us start working hard as early as possible right now that we are young, so that we have an added advantage over the problems and challenges of life. So this takes us to the end of today's session of the private class with the Millennium Teacher, and I believe you have learned something. Till we meet again in the next class, I have been your teacher, Solomon Joseph Kekura. Stay blessed.